Welcome back, teachers. This is a quick demonstration to communicate the guidelines for setting up your Power Teacher Gradebook for the 14-15 school year. This refresher is for year-long courses that meet every other day. So it's a semester-long course that's spaced out for the entire duration of the school year. If this does not describe the course you teach, then please close this refresher and select one that matches the term length of the course that you are teaching. Again, this is a year-long course that meets every other day for the entire duration of the school year. The first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the Classes pane in the upper left corner of your screen. You should see the list of courses that you are teaching. If you don't, you can select from the drop-down either Current Classes or the term that your current term. So if this is first semester, then I could click semester 1 and I should see the courses that I teach listed there. If you've tried choosing from the drop-down and you still don't see the courses that you are scheduled to teach this year, please contact your data manager so they can check your section settings. After you've selected your course, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to select Honors Forensics. Then look down at your categories. Your categories should be the same for your entire department. So all of the history department should have the same categories and same category weights. If you have questions about that decision, please contact your principal for more information about why the departments have to have the same categories. To add a category, you would click the plus sign. So for example, if my department decided that projects were important, then we would create a projects category. You would enter the name, the abbreviation, and you can select a color. I strongly encourage you to select 100 as the points possible so that all assignments in that category have a default 100 points. If you choose something different, for example, if homework counts as a possible 10 points and assignment counts as a possible 20 points, then you're actually assigning additional weights to those categories. Since we're going to weight the categories later on, I want to make sure that there aren't too many variables in there for you to be able to figure out how your grades are calculated. So I would strongly encourage you to select 100 points as the points possible for all categories. Then click OK. And notice that that category is now available for you to choose. If you decide that there's a category that you no longer want, then you can click the minus button and confirm the delete to take that category away. When you log into your Power Teacher Gradebook, if this is your very first time, then you'll see a list of default categories that are there from Pearson. You can delete the ones that you're not using and add the ones that your department has decided upon. If you used the Power Teacher Gradebook last year, you may see the categories that you've previously created. If those no longer match the course that you are teaching or what your department has decided, you can try to delete them, but if they're attached to assignments, it may not let you. If that's the case, then make sure that when you do your category weights that you choose the categories that are specific to this school year. Now we're going to move to the grade setup. Click on the Grade Setup tab. This is what you should see under reporting terms. Since this is a year-long course, the start and end date represent the entire duration of the school year. These dates are very important because when you create an assignment within those dates, that's where the assignment is going to be factored into that grade. So for example, for quarter 1, if I'm entering an assignment and the assignment date is October the 29th, then it's actually going to filter that assignment into the calculation for quarter 2 grades since it falls within these two date ranges. If I intended it to be a quarter 1 date, I'm just a little bit late getting my grades in, then I need to make sure that that assignment date fits within the start and end date for that particular term. That is most critical when you're looking at your exam term, this X3. X3 is your exam term. And those dates are from June the 9th to June 10th. So when you are entering your exam, it has to be either the 9th or the 10th as the assignment dates. You're going to create an assignment within that date range, and that's going to count as your exam grade. If you're a little bit late entering something in second semester or final quarter, and you put 6-9 as the grade, PowerSchool is going to think that you meant that to be an exam. So be careful with your dates and where your assignments fall. Now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and set up our reporting terms so our grades calculate correctly. So click the gray arrow beside the F1 term, and F1, all that means is it's your final mark for that class. Every class in all of PowerSchool has an F1 term. For year-long courses that meet every other day, you're going to set up your final grade using term weights. Your S1 is going to be out of a weight of 40. S2 is a weight of 40. And your exam term is 20. That's the same whether it's an EOC, a CTE post-assessment, a North Carolina final exam, or a teacher-made exam. It counts as 20% of the total grade. Okay. Once you've done that, save those changes. Next, we're going to set up S1. So click the arrow beside S1. And this time we're going to set up semester weights, or your semester term. And it's going to be category weights. So go ahead and pick category weights. Add a category. I'm going to select test, homework, and classwork. Now these are dependent on what your department decides, and the category weights that go with them here should also be a department decision. So this is just for illustration purposes. I'm going to say that my classwork weight is 45, my homework weight is 10, test weight is 45. Okay. I'm going to copy this setup now that I'm done and I save my changes. I'm going to copy this same setup to S2. So I'm going to copy just S1 and I'm going to copy that to my S2. Click Next and Finish. Now when I click the gray arrow beside S2, it should be exactly what I have for S1. Okay. We are going to store grades for your courses at S1, which is at the end of first semester, S2 at the end of second semester, your exam grade, and the final marks. So you have the same number of reporting periods as a teacher who is teaching a semester-long class. But since we can't define two different year-long scenarios in PowerSchool, you also have quarters to deal with. That's why you see these quarter terms in there. We want to set these up so that parents aren't confused when they look at the parent portal. We want these configured so that they can basically see a running progress report. We aren't storing grades for you at quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, or quarter 4. During those reporting periods, that's when you're going to print your progress report for those kids. So we're just setting this up so that your progress report period looks right and that parents see the correct information on the parent portal. Okay. So beside Q1, click the arrow, and this is going to be category weights, and you're going to mirror the same thing that you did for your semester term. So we did classwork as 45, homework as 10, and tests as 45. And save. And now I'm going to copy that same setup to my other quarters. And if you're thinking, couldn't I have just copied my semester 1 down to Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4? The answer is yes, you could have, but I needed to be able to explain the purpose of why we were setting those up, and so that you'll know that those are not actual report card grades, they're just progress report grades. The last term to consider is your exam term. When you click the gray arrow beside your X3, it's going to remain at total points. There should only be one assignment that falls within that X3 term date. And the way we've set up our final F1 term, it will take that single grade and count it as 20% of your overall grade. Okay? And that's how your grade setup should be. If you feel like you're a little unsure about the other components of the Power Teacher Gradebook, since this was just how to set up your grades, you could visit the NC SIS website, and you can see that website up in the top left corner here. And there is a webinar that's called Gradebook Webinar, and you can get to that by clicking on Training and Recorded Refreshers. And you can watch this Gradebook webinar, and it should go over the finer points of using the Power Teacher Gradebook. If you have any additional questions about why things are set up the way they are, you can ask your principal. If you have any technical questions like why you don't see your classes or why you don't see students, you can contact your data manager. Or for any other questions, feel free to contact me, Amanda Richardson, at arichardson@bcswan.net. Thanks, and best of luck for a great school year.